What's up everyone? John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here with the full review of the Android phone a lot of you have been waiting for. This is the Motorola Droid Pro. Let's go ahead and dig in and see if your wait's gonna be rewarded. So before I start my phone reviews, I always start with call quality. No matter what the phone can do from a feature standpoint, if it's not going to make good phone calls for you, it's just not going to be worth your money. So when I do my phone tests, I do a 20 call test in various areas of Southern California, test for signal strength, call degradation, and dropped calls. So in my 20 call test, I had no drop calls, was able to maintain a very strong signal strength compared to other Verizon phones, and certainly using the bar method. So by depending on how many bars of service you have, is certainly arbitrary and relies on sort of proprietary algorithms. But the reception here was very strong. Again, no drop calls. I had no white noise on my end. On the other end, the call had no white noise. There was no popping. The Bluetooth on this was actually outstanding. Connected to the Bluetooth speaker in my car, I was able to take the phone very far away and still maintain a static-free connection. This has probably one of the strongest Bluetooth radios of any phone that I've tested. Speakerphone volume was average. If you use a speakerphone while in a loud place, you're going to be able to hear it. It's not going to be booming loud, but you will probably be able to hear the caller on the other end. The microphone seems to be very sensitive, so if there is a lot of background noise going on, the caller is most definitely going to hear it. So from a call standpoint, this phone has actually been one of the best that I've tested. It was loud, crisp, and clear. So now let's go ahead and talk about the specs. Let me run through them real quickly. It's got a 3.1-inch TFT screen with the resolution of 320 by 480, which we'll most definitely talk about. It's got a 1420 milliamp hour battery, good for an advertised supposedly 7 hours of battery life. On the back of the phone, it has a 5-megapixel camera with autofocus and actually dual LED flash. From a design standpoint, sort of has that Motorola hump we've seen on a few other devices, most notably the Droid X. It is running Android 2.2 with Moto Blur sitting on top of it. It's the less obtrusive version of Moto Blur. It's actually the version that I prefer most. It doesn't have those sort of color arrays at the bottom. And in some versions of Moto Blur, you don't have the 4 capacitive Android buttons. You're missing the search, but that is of course present here as well. It's being powered by a TI OMAP processor, clocking in at 1 GHz, and it's got 512 megabytes of RAM. Camera quality was average, about what you'd expect from a 5-megapixel phone. It does take HD video at 720p. It was again just about average and comparable with other cameras of similar quality. But that's not the reason that most of you are considering the Droid Pro. The reason probably you're looking at this phone is because of what sits below that 3.1-inch screen, and that is this fantastic full QWERTY keyboard, very reminiscent of BlackBerry Bold devices. It has sort of that dual angled key, so it's almost slanted on each side. So while there isn't actually physical space between each two, you can feel each button very nicely. It's got a really nice big space bar, which I really enjoy using. I like the voice search function right on here on the phone, and the keyboard is absolutely fantastic. You can use on-screen keyboards if you choose to, but I don't know why you would with the keyboard this good. This is really the form factor a lot of people have been waiting for, and I found it to be just quite nice and easy to use. And as you're typing, you get the autocorrect at the bottom, as opposed to maybe showing up at the top where you may have seen it before. It's a lot easier for your eyes as you're looking down at the keyboard to type, and you've got the correction showing you right up at top. So keyboard-wise, this is definitely one of the better phones out there. If you need a full QWERTY physical keyboard, I know a lot of you do, this is really one of your best choices. It's got that familiar BlackBerry form factor. A lot of these slide-out Android phones that we've seen have a slide mechanism that comes out from the side, revealing the screen. So one of the sacrifices that you do make for that full QWERTY keyboard is in screen real estate. 3.1-inch screen is very, very, very small. But unfortunately, there's not much that Motorola and Verizon can do about the screen size. Because you have over a 3-inch screen and a full keyboard below it, the phone is going to be a bit on the larger side. If I bring in a 4.3-inch phone here, like the Evo 4G, you'll notice that there's really not that much difference lengthwise. So you can't have a phone any bigger, and you can't really ask for a bigger screen because the phone's not going to fit in your pocket. The resolution on the screen, at 320 by 480, really was disappointing. Looking at websites and looking at pictures, the text wasn't as clear as I would have liked it to have been, and the screen did appear a bit washed out. Now that may be to the fact that this phone probably shows brightness and gets brighter than many other phones I've tested. I've got the brightness here right now turned down almost all the way down. Actually, I'll show you how far down it is, and the phone is still extremely bright. Kicking the brightness up all the way is almost going to be blinding. You can see how far down it is right there. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at a website as I was mentioning here. Go ahead and launch it. We should have Techno Buffalo here queuing and loading. And you will see Flash content actually loading here as well, which is quite nice. This does have Android 2.2 on it, so you will have full Flash 10.1 support. And it works very well. It's smooth. The TI OMAP processor really does a nice job keeping up. The 512 megabytes of RAM certainly help aid in that. So we'll load Techno Buffalo here, and we are on Verizon's EVDO network, which I guess with the announcement of LTE you could almost call a legacy network. So here it is loading. The Flash content takes a bit longer to load. You can turn the Flash content off if you like, if you don't want to view it and save your battery life, but you can see it here working. On a lot of underpowered phones that do show Flash content, pinch to zoom is very slow and a little bit laggy. Not so on the Droid Pro. Really does work very well. Despite Flash content there, it almost does the pinch to zoom multi-touch gestures as if Flash content wasn't even there. So a big, I guess, thumbs up to Motorola for really maximizing the hardware and the software put together in a really outstanding package. Battery life on the phone has not been outstanding. They claim 7 hours-ish of battery life. I'm a pretty heavy phone user, so I'm using email, I'm watching an occasional YouTube video, a lot of web browsing, and texting. And I had a hard time getting through the day. Generally, by the time the day ended, I'd have about 10-ish%. Now, other people who have used this phone, I've got a few friends who use the Droid Pro, have to charge their phone almost twice a day. In fact, Motorola and Verizon offer larger capacity batteries because that may be a known problem. So if you are a heavy user, you may want to either explore a bigger battery option, or you're going to have to very diligently manage your battery life. Overall, and sort of put this package together, really is the phone that a lot of business professionals were looking for. People love the BlackBerry-esque form factor of the QWERTY keyboard below touchscreen. Or below a screen rather, and the Droid Pro is really the only phone that offers that, and it does it in a very nice package. Even though the phone and the screen is a little bit smaller than I would have liked, it's really the biggest, again, that Motorola can do. I would have liked a higher resolution screen on it. I think it would have made the text pop a little bit more, but it definitely is forgivable. So on a 1 to 5 scale, this is the form factor you're looking for. This phone is going to get a very solid 4.5, losing out on that half because of the low resolution screen and the knock on battery life. If this is the form factor for you, you can pick up this phone and be very confident that you're getting a very modern, really capable Android phone. There's a lot of phones out there to choose from, and this one really does a nice job of rising to the surface above the rest of the Android phones. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Droid Pro. Is it the phone for you? Not for you? Do you like the form factor? You want a bigger screen? You can give up the QWERTY keyboard. You know, a lot of options here. Anyway, guys, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. For exclusive content, check me out at Twitter, twitter.com/John4Lakers. For all your exclusive tech content, be sure to check out the website, technobuffalo.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.